Good afternoon and welcome to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lorianne Casdia. Our goal at Healthy Lifestyle is to inspire, educate, and empower you to a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life that is fulfilling. This is the year of intention. What is your intention for 2019? What are you going to do to make this year better over last year? And that's up to you, my friends. As you know, we speak about this all the time. Today on our show, we're very excited, as we always are, to have our good friend, Craig Colasanti. He is a radical coach. A radical change coach.
There it is.
And it's CoachCraig11.com is your website, right?
That's correct, Lori.
I'm so happy to have you on again. How are you?
I'm great, and it's great to be back. Great to see you as always.
Good
and
to
thank
see
you for
you.
having me.
Always a pleasure. So let's talk about these brilliant things that you're doing. You've had a lot of exciting things happen with some of your clients, correct?
That's correct.
So let's talk about some of those challenges you had and the process of what your clients went through.
Okay, great. Well, I studied for 2 years under Dr. Mary Oz to learn the Radical Change Coaching Program. And what I learned in the 2 years was more than I knew in the 14 years prior that I was coaching. So we came up, she came up with this amazing system where when clients come to us, especially couples, we figure out who each person is through a set of giving them scenarios of this. You wake up in the morning before your feet hit the ground, you're this type of person. You're either safe and secure and you know your day's going to go this way, or you're what they call a variety person. You really don't care about safety. You just go about your day and wing it. And when people figure out who they are and we put their list of needs, we call them in order, and then we show their spouse the same thing, then they go home and they work on it together. They bring it back to us. We figure out exactly who they are and how to meet each other's needs. So once you hit their top two needs at a 7, 8, 9, we call it, right? At the top of a scale of 0 to 10, 7, 8, 9, and 10 being the best. If we can get them to reach each other's needs from a 7 to a 10, it's amazing. Yeah. These people, we just had a couple come in who was literally in divorce proceedings, literally. And in 4 sessions, they are happier than they've ever been before. They're actually envy of their friends now who are saying, what the heck happened with you guys? Oh my God, you guys have never seen you happier. And it was just a matter of literally 2 months work. So focusing, and we give it to them quick. We try to do it as painlessly and quickly as possible. So, and I've been in therapy for 10 years. I love therapy.
Sure.
But with this system, we get you there quick.
Yeah.
The goal is to get you there as quickly and painlessly as we can, and we're doing it.
Well, there's 2 things that get you there quickly, too. You got to do the work.
Got to do the work. You and I were just talking about this, right?
Got to do the work.
It's funny because people slip and then they come back and they're like, well, this fell off. And then my first question is, well, what have you done? Yeah. Have you been doing any of the work? No, everything was great. So I'm like, that's the time you got to do the work the most. You know? Most people think when what hits the fan, it's time to start figuring out things and meditating and doing the work and figuring out who I am and what I want. No, do it when you're at your best because it'll keep you there. Yeah,
well, you also have to figure you've been on this land in this world for X amount of years. Yep. So you have that many years experience of having a habit. Habits don't break overnight, but you can change them. And that's what we talk about all the time, right, Craig? Changing habits. Creating new habits that allow you to have a more positive outlook and really take control of what you really want and being able to see it with your guidance and other mentors' guidance, that's really helpful because then now you know what you need to do. Oh, okay, so these are the hurdles, so I need to do this, this, and this to get over those hurdles. All right, now it's a matter of them doing it. So they can come for years and months or decades if they don't jump the hurdle.
Absolutely.
And they don't do the work to jump the hurdle, it's never going to change.
Never.
Right?
And what I find is that the worst saying I've ever heard was people don't change. That's not true.
They do.
People change radically. We call it radical change, right? It's radical change. So people do change. Couples do change. Yeah. People want and desire to be better. And we have tools that we give them to get there. And a lot of it is what we call uncovering unconscious conflicts. People have conflicts they don't even realize that affect them today.
Yes.
That happen through their childhood, through their, what their parents did to them, this, that, and the other thing. And when we can point those out and help them resolve those unconscious conflicts, their life gets easier and better, and they start to change.
Yeah, somebody asked me about that because we've spoken about this before. Of like, how does suddenly it change? So yeah, they knew that this bad situation happened when they were younger, and now how come it changes now? And it's about a mindset. It's about recognizing it, acknowledging it, and then dismissing it and saying no more.
Right.
We're not going to do that anymore.
Exactly. And we have a thing that we call the triangle that we use where we change their physical state. And that's either through breathing techniques, Ho'oponopono, we still incorporate.
Oh, wait, let's revisit Ho'oponopono. Me too, and I can say it now.
Yes.
I not only just do it, I can say it. Don't start with me, Craig.
So the Ho'oponopono, which I had studied under Dr. Joe Vitale a while back, we incorporate that now in the coaching, and it really makes a difference.
Which are the four phrases?
The four phrases: I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. And we get, some people with a lot of anxiety, some people whose minds never stop, and we give them a meditation, a mantra, whatever you want to call it, saying, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. And it calms people down. People take 10 minutes and just lay down and say it over and over and over.
Yeah, you could do it at a stoplight. Trust me, I do all the time. It kind of is in lieu of the counting to 10 that really never worked for me. This really works because as you're saying it, all of a sudden you can feel yourself decompressing. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Because it's not just really, I love you to the other person. It's really to say it to yourself.
Yeah, it's about taking 100% responsibility to yourself. So what you're saying is, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Those four phrases are both love and forgiveness and everything to your inner self.
Right.
For forgetting about your inner self, because we all do.
Well, yeah.
And people are like, what is a soul? What's this? A soul is your subconscious. It's you have your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. So what Ho'oponopono does is it gets you to work towards releasing all the bad stuff that your subconscious mind has attached from your conscious. Your conscious attaches things to your subconscious, and your subconscious doesn't know the difference between good and bad.
Right.
So if you ask for bad, you're going to get bad from your subconscious, which is your soul.
If you're putting that out there, you're going to get that back. So, and I love that you forgive yourself, and forgiveness is really not about the other person.
No.
You release yourself by forgiving yourself, and we're all flawed.
Yep.
We all have lessons to learn while we're here. We talk about that all the time on Healthy Lifestyle. We're here to really give back to other people, serve other people. And if we're doing those things, you see a great difference. So, and I know some of the things that you teach is about serving other people.
Absolutely.
And that's part of the enlightenment, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I'm glad you brought up forgiveness, because I had just worked with a woman who was struggling to forgive her spouse for something he shouldn't have done, right? And she's just like, how am I ever going to forgive him? So I explained to her what you just said. Forgiveness is about allowing yourself to be free. Yeah. You're not going to forget what he did. It'll stick with you. I'm not saying it's going to go away for good, but to let go of it, the energy it takes to hold on to that
is
anger
so much more.
People must be exhausted by the nightfall by the time they get rid of what they're worried about. So forgive it so yourself can be free, so you can let yourself free up, and then you allow the goodness in. And when you hold on to regret and anger and all that, I try to teach people, that just drains you completely.
Something that I was taught a long time ago, and I think my mother or my grandmother told me this. She said, it takes so much energy to hold on to something. And so you have to ask yourself a question. Will it change by me holding on to it? And does it do any good to hold on to it? And if the answer is no to either one of those, then you need to reassess of why you're holding on. Because it's okay if you want to, as long as you realize that that's what you're doing. It's okay to stay stuck if that's what you want to do. Nothing wrong. That's a choice. Yeah. I choose not to do that,
right,
but that only because I want to move forward. So you can either forgive it and shut the door, or close the chapter, as I refer to it, and move forward,
right,
and figure out how to move forward without it.
Right.
So that doesn't mean it didn't exist. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. It can mean, however, that you won't allow that to happen again.
Exactly.
And then you have to define what that means.
Sure. And that's a great point. And, also what I try to teach people is, let's go to forgiveness, right? If you're so resentful and so hateful, don't go from, I want to be so, I'm holding on to this resentment and I want love. No. You can't jump from here to here. Right. It's just too big of a jump. Yeah. So what we do is teach people how to reach for just a little bit better feeling and then a little bit better feeling. And it's a scale. And by the time they get to the top of the scale, it may take a couple of months, but once they get to that top scale, they're vibrating at a different energy.
Yeah.
And then they never want to leave that energy because that low energy vibration is just, it's toxic.
Oh, it's very toxic. And you want to dismiss it. And you learn how to do that. That also doesn't happen overnight.
No.
It takes a lot of work. Right. It takes a lot of time. It takes commitment. And yes, we slide backwards. I have a client who was working, doing really well, and then situations changed and they slid a little bit backwards, and that's okay.
Yep.
We do that. As long as you recognize it, stop it sooner than later, and then try to move forward again. It happens. You even slide backwards when you ski, right?
Absolutely.
So why would that be any different? I was just skiing. That's why it came to mind. What? You're listening to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lori-Ann Casdia, and we are here talking with the great, magnificent Craig Colasanti, who is a radical change coach. So more about that story, though. That is amazing that within that short period of time, they rediscovered each other. What do you think that was? Between enlightenment and focused on each other?
Definitely. And teaching people what we call the 4 ways of being, right? And once you teach them that, they see things once you understand those 4 ways of being, every relationship you have changes. Every single one.
So what are some of the 4 ways of being?
Most, I don't want to say most, but we teach 4 different ways that people can be. And it doesn't matter where you're from, who you are. It's just the way people are. And this comes from Anthony Robbins. He was the one who came up with this by traveling the world.
I call him Tony.
Tony, yeah, most people do.
He doesn't know that, however.
Anthony, and once you teach people their needs and their order of needs, right? Everybody has the same 4 needs. But once you pinpoint the order of people's needs.
What are the 4 needs?
So let's say I'm a loving type of guy,
which
right?
you are.
Yeah, I'm a loving and connection. I like people. I like to be around people. I like
You're
to just
effervescent.
Be that way. And you're that way yourself. I can tell. And so that's one way of being, right?
Sure.
But the opposite of that is somebody who considers himself significant, and that's not a bad thing. Somebody who is more about I than we, right? So if I'm dealing with a client who is a love and connection person, who's married to a significance person, there's a lot of work here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work because you're on the opposite sides of the spectrum. So we got to figure out, how does a love and connection person who always puts everybody else in front of himself or herself deal with somebody who's all about I? And once you point that out, we start doing what we call, hitting it out of the park, where you ring their bell at an 8, 9, or 10 by understanding what it is for a significance person to feel great,
right? And
understanding how to meet that need, and then teaching a significance person who is the opposite of a love and connection person how a love and connection person thinks, which is completely opposite. So, sometimes I see you, I give you a big hug, right? Oh, yeah. So we know each other. But you try to hug a significance person, and they're like, "Ooh, that's so uncomfortable."
Yeah.
And most people don't know that, and they're like, "Why doesn't that person want to hug me? Did I do something wrong?" But once you understand how people are and what their needs are and their order of needs, it changes everything for them.
Anybody who's in my life knows I'm a hugger.
Yeah. Yeah. But,
I'm a hugger.
I've come up, I was doing a talk one time, and there was a young woman in the room, and I went to hug her, and I saw her go like this. And we talked, and we figured out she's a significance person. She doesn't do love and connection. Yeah. There's, it's her bottom one. So really there really are 5 needs. One is growth, but growth I don't teach, because if you don't grow, you die.
Right.
So everybody's number 1 need is growth.
Right.
But then we teach the other 4, and when you figure out for a couple, let's say a couple comes to me and they're in crisis, I teach them the needs. I let them go home, do the homework, figure out what order their needs are in, and then when they come back to me, I teach them how to meet each other's need at an 8, 9, or 10. Yeah. And that's when you can have instant success, because once they take that in and go, "Oh my God." So my husband's a significance guy. He doesn't want to do love and connection. He wants it to be about him. Right. So now the wife starts making it about him, and he is like, who's this woman? All of a sudden she's making it about me, and she's ringing his bell. Right. And then we teach him to ring her bell at an 8, 9, or 10 as a significance person, which is opposite of love and connection. You got to meet her needs too.
But they say opposites attract. So is this a really,
they say that, but I think that's different. I think it's opposites attract with things that people like, and like I'm a variety guy. I like variety. I like travel. I like different foods, this, that. My girlfriend is what we call a certainty person. She likes order and doesn't like to, if she's going away, she packs a week before. If I'm going away, I pack the night before. Right. I don't care. Or I'll pack the morning of and I just throw everything together. She has to have it all down.
What's the worst thing that happens? You just get it there, whatever.
Right. So, but I know that about her. Yeah. So to me, it's like, okay, let her do her thing. Let her have her fun. But the panic and the worry that I see go on prior to a trip where I'm just like, let's go. Let's get in the car and go, whatever. Let's get on the plane. But now that I know that about her, and it's I kind of laugh about it now. We have fun with it. Like she's also a love and connection person. She's, so I'll be sitting at night and if we're not next to each other on the couch, she's like, you're not meeting my need for love and connection. So then I go over and then we have a good time. Yeah, which is, that's good. Which is really good because couples, sometimes go this way and they don't realize who you're with and what their needs are. And once you do, if you really want that to work, you work on each other's needs. Yeah. And it's that, I hate to say simple, but it's that simple of a formula that we use where we're getting results like that. Like
it's funny. I said, I was having a conversation. I was doing a presentation with a bunch of people and I was telling them life is not difficult. And someone said, no, it is difficult. You just don't understand. And I'm like, no, I do understand. It's our definition of difficult because we can make it difficult for ourselves or we can kind of ride with the wave. Go with the flow, understand that we're going to have challenges every day. Like our good friend Ken said, every day is not going to be sunshine and roses. It is going to, be a challenge. There are days that are more challenging than others. Right. It's how we attack it. Absolutely. It's how we address it. It's what we do within ourselves. And, it's a learning curve. And as we sit there and look at it and go, okay, can I change it? No. Am I going to lose sleep over this? Well, what's the point of that? Right. And you start logically going through it. It seems silly to even have an emotional reaction to it. It's like, it is what it is. What do I have to do to solve it? Yep. Right.
And I use another technique. I hate to say that word technique, but I tell my clients, I want 2 books. Get 2 books, one for the night, one for the morning. Before you go to bed at night, write down everything you're grateful and then go to sleep. Because you set your subconscious mind up for a nice, peaceful sleep where you're going to wake up feeling better. And then when you wake up, write down what you want to be grateful for today. So you start your day on the right foot. Yeah. So, people wake up, tomorrow's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be the worst day of my life. It's going to be the worst day of your life. That's just the law of attraction, and people don't understand what you put out is what you're going to get back.
Exactly. So you need to set those habits where in the morning, because I do have a habitual thing in the morning and I set what my day is going to be like. This is what's going to happen. Right. This is my schedule. This is how it's going to happen. And you know what? If I have the great mindset, it happens that way. And, even I'm going to be on time for every single 5 minutes early for every single appointment, even if I'm not looking at my watch. And sure enough, 5 minutes early. And you think we're crazy, but it really works.
It works. It's the universal law of attraction, and a lot of people, maybe watch The Secret and go, if I think it comes. I say, you have to think it, but feel it, and believe it,
do it.
And do it.
You got to do the things. You can't sit there and go, I'm going to be a multi-billionaire, and then you sit down on your couch and eat bonbons.
And expect it to happen.
Yeah, not going to happen. Yeah. However, if you really put that mindset forward, it will come to you. People just drop into your life and it changes out, and then all of a sudden all these positive people are in your life, and it's wonderful.
It is.
It's wonderful. I love what you do. Your radical change program is off the hook. Yes. You do really wonderful things, and I hope that you're going to expand more and come back more and tell us all your new adventures, because I know you have a couple of new adventures coming up.
We certainly do. And I work with both Dr. Mary and her daughter is one of our coaches, and she's also a licensed social worker. And it's so funny because we'll bounce, how you doing? She's like, 5 of my clients are just finished up and I only saw them 6 times, Yeah. And it's not like they want to leave. They're just complete. And it's not this, I'm going to drag you for 10 years in therapy. Right. We get the results so quickly. And that's what keeps it going, though, because then those people go and tell 5 people, oh, my God, I changed in 5 weeks, in 5 sessions. You got to go. So.
Well, because you're providing tools. Right. You're not just talking, which is an important thing. And to get it out and to have realization. So there's a need for that kind of therapeutic kind of addressing. But I'm a person who needs tools. Give me tools so I can figure this out. That's why I'm very responsive to things like this, and I think your clients are as well. Is you provide them with the tools they need in order to progress, like we did with our kids.
Right.
We give our kids tools so that they're successful in life. But I'm so glad you joined us today.
I'm so glad to be here, and thanks for having me, as always. You're the
wonderful.
best.
Oh, thank you. You're the best. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you being on, and we're going to break in a couple of minutes, and we're going to bring Kenny on. I hope you stay.
Yeah, I'm going to stick around. I want to see this. This is really interesting to me.
It's so cool. Wait till you hear about this, Greg.
About it.
Yeah, you're going to love it. You're going to love
great.
it.
I appreciate you letting me stay.
Always.
Great seeing you.
Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lori Ann. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas on topics you'd like to hear, or comments on our guests or other guests you'd like to hear more about, please email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. And of course, follow us on social media at healthylifestylewithla. So we were having a conversation earlier with our friend Craig Colasanti, who's still in the studio with us. And we are bringing on a good friend, Ken San Pedro from New You Life, to discuss this product that I am so jazzed about. I can't even tell you. This is awesome. So how are you, Ken? Welcome to the studio.
Excellent. Thanks for having me.
No, our pleasure. Our pleasure. So this is an FDA-registered transdermal human growth hormone gel.
Homeopathic.
Let's talk about that. I am so amazed at the stories I hear about it. Have been actually utilizing the product for about 2 months now. And huge difference. Huge. 2 months.
Life-changing.
Ridiculous. Okay. Let's tell them what this all means, because you and I are talking code right now. So talk about the product. Talk about how you got involved in this.
I'm just going to tell a story. I own a carpet cleaning business, so I'm not a doctor. I knew nothing about HGH before I started really using the product.
By the way, outstanding carpet cleaner.
Outstanding. Carpet cleaning guy, 1-866. We do rugs.
Nice. All right. Pipe in.
little plug. I got a couple of days before Christmas last year, I had two good friends of mine send me a video, and I watched it for 3 minutes. I was like, wow, this sounds too good to be true, just like everybody else. And I was very skeptical. And because of where it came from, I was like, I got to try the product. I got to try it. So I placed an order within 10 minutes of watching the video. In fact, Michelle, who introduced me to the product from a friend of ours, Chris, within like 5 minutes, she calls me. She goes, you going to place an order? I was like, I already placed the order. Because I said out of these 40 or 50 things that could change in you, I said if half of these things, this is going to be $1 billion product, And so I got my product at the end of December, like almost like New Year's Eve.
A year ago.
Yeah. And I started taking the product, and within 3 days, I'm sleeping through the night, to the point where I woke up the third day and I go, I just must have been exhausted last night.
Right.
There's no way that this gel worked within the last couple of hours, days, it was hours, it was 72 hours, And then about 2 or 3 days later, I woke up and I had a dream where I felt like it was so real. And I don't remember having a dream like that vivid since I was a teenager.
Right.
And I just, from that day on, we were talking a little bit before we started, guys that I started, and girls, one of them being my sister, were calling each other going, is this happening to you? Is this happening to you?
Yeah.
It was just like we couldn't believe that exactly what it said it was going to do, it did exactly, almost in the time frame that it said too. They said, all right, within the first 30 days, you're going to experience this, or you may experience this. Again, we're not making any medical claims. And it happened. And then I'm like, okay, the second month, this is going to happen. And oh my God, it did happen. And to a point where in the second month, I went, for the first time in my life, I'm 53 years old, I wanted time to go faster because I wanted to see 6 months now.
Yeah, all right, easy sport.
It was,
if it goes faster for you, it goes faster for all of us.
I know. So I was like, okay, I can wait, But it was so exciting getting these results because, again, I was skeptical. And I just said, let me give it a shot,
Yeah. It's so funny that you say that because, I'm skeptical about new things. And I react my ecosystem, my bodily ecosystem is very, very easily sent off into a spiral. So I always worry about new products. And so I'm sitting next to you. I know you almost a year now. It's a year this month, actually. And I'm sitting there and I'm trying to figure out this day. A couple of months ago, I'm like, what the heck is different? And I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's the lady in your life. You're just really happy. But you've always been very positive, very happy. I noticed that. But there was something different. And I'm like, did he shave his face? Is he growing a beard? Because you had a beard on. Maybe he trimmed it different. You looked younger. I don't know. And I'm sitting there going, I'm trying to figure it out. And another one of our colleagues come up and go, right to you, Kenny, you dyeing your hair. And I was like, that's it. And you were like, no, I'm not. But I'm taking this product. And I'm like, wait, now you got my attention. And sure enough, tell the story about your hair growth difference between August and was it November or October?
Actually, other people started recognizing it way before I did. I shave, brush my teeth, look at myself 20 times in the mirror, so I didn't really notice it. But about 6 weeks after using the product, and of course every day I'm telling my girlfriend, honey, you got to try this. You got this gel. I'm sleeping through the night. My energy level, my attitude, anxiety's going down, stress level, just.
You used to have anxiety, right?
Yeah. I own a business, so everybody has anxiety to a level. And it wasn't where I was on medication or anything, but I'm very self-aware, and I know when I'm anxious or when I'm feeling a little more stressed or whatever. And I just started noticing that was just going away. It was like, again, when you're a teenager and you don't have kids, you don't have a business, you don't have a house, and you don't have those stresses, you really weren't bothered by much.
Yeah.
Well, I'm back to that now. I mean, those things that used to bother me tremendously don't bother me as much anymore. It's almost like, it's hard to explain. I've had this discussion with my sister Dawn about 2 months after using the product. I go, we got to talk. So it was by text. So I gave her a call, and I'm like, let me ask you a question. The hair thing and the skin, you wake up one morning, your skin feels different. I said, but are you getting emotional change? And she's like, what do you mean? Because it's almost like you were afraid to talk about it because there's no way it was the product that was doing it. And we got on the same page, and we were like, we couldn't believe that we were both experiencing the same exact things at the same exact time. And she started a couple of weeks before me, and she's a yoga instructor. She's just turned 60, but she had me doing aerobics when I was 19 years old. I'd have like 40 women, and I'm the only guy coming from drinking the night before, 20 years old at a 6 o'clock,
Yeah, you were there for the yoga.
Yeah. But she's a yoga spin instructor. And, when I spoke to her, I said, let me ask you a question. What do you know about HGH? She goes, oh, I love it. It got me through menopause. I said, what do you mean? Because I knew HGH was Stallone stuff. Guys were injecting it, but I knew nothing about it. And
the cost is ridiculous. The HGH cost is ridiculous. I mean, how much were they paying a shot for each shot?
My sister Dawn was taking the lowest a package that they had, and it was about $500 a month. And I asked her, I said, why did you stop? She said, because it got me through what I needed, and I just really couldn't afford it.
And this product doesn't even come near to that.
Oh, yeah, no, you're talking about $35, $40 a week versus, $2,000, $3,000. You can pay $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month for these injections.
That's your coffee in the morning budget, which you won't need when you're doing this. So some of the general expected benefits, you may experience improved stamina in the first month. You may experience increased energy in the first month. You may experience deeper sleep and vivid dreams. I think that's totally amazing. And yes. Second month, they're saying experience muscle definition, heightened libido, healthier skin, increased strength, weight loss. Yes. Improved vision. Amazing, right?
Yes.
And I there's a whole list that goes up to 6 months. The thing that I loved in 6 months, it says experience cellulite greatly diminishes. you may experience that the cellulite greatly diminishes. Now, any woman out there in the world knows that we all sit there and go, for God's sakes, is there anything that will help us with that? And sure enough, it says that it does. So I'm like, I'm in.
You know what excited me? You know, I'm vain as anybody really could be these days. Anyway, everybody cares about what they look like. But when I started looking down at the 6 months and it started talking about may experience blood pressure normalization, I've been on blood pressure medication since I'm 30, and about 4 or 5 years ago, I started doing exercising and losing weight, and I got myself off that medication, and I was always like, oh, I can never go back on that, you know, because you hear about it. Especially recently, you hear about this high blood pressure medication and, you know, the side effects and everything. So this excited me where it says it's a reduction in the LDL cholesterol because they wanted me to go on cholesterol medication. I heard about all the side effects. I was like, you know, I want to do everything I could to stay away from it. So those things excited me more until I started realizing that my wrinkles were going away, my hair was getting darker.
Yeah,
reduction. My hair in the crown there was filling in, and you know.
And you have pictures for that too.
Oh, yeah.
Significant weight loss, greater improvements, skin texture and appearances, greater improvements, greater elasticity of your skin. Your hair becomes healthier and thicker. The wrinkles go away. That's where I was sitting there going, why does he look younger?
I have to cut my nails like once a week. My other sister started using the product after about 2 months because we told her about it, and we let her in on the secret, and she likes to complain. But the one thing she did was said, I can't believe this. I have to pay my hairdresser now twice as much because I have to get my hair cut every 3 weeks now instead of every month and a half. And so
it actually says here that you may experience gray hair begins to return to the natural color, and I've actually watched that happen to you to the point where we really thought you dyed your hair.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
It's nuts.
So, and it's positive, no side effects. You can use this product with other things. Another thing that I learned about the product is if you experience depression, this is very helpful for that.
Extremely.
And a lot of people are getting off, like I know people who are on estrogen for menopause and stuff like that they're getting off of that because they don't need to do that anymore. With doctor's guidance, you always check with your doctors. But so if you're on different medications like blood pressure, estrogen, progesterone, it just depends on what your situation is. I understand there was studies about thyroid conditions. They're no longer on their Synthrax. Again, with the doctors being part of this whole process, doctors are being amazed. They're bringing they have a whole doctor team coming on board to be able to standardize the results so that we can actually utilize that data when we're putting it out there, right, Ken?
Absolutely. It's unbelievable. The thing about it is this product's been around for 15 years. It's just that they changed the way they marketed it. Alexei Goldstein, who invented the product and owns the company, was selling this out of his vitamin stores out in San Francisco for 15 years and started doing a little internet sales. And he chose network marketing about 13 months ago to be the marketing arm now. And they're doing over $10 million a month in sales. I mean, this is like turning out to be the fastest growing network marketing company ever in the history of network marketing in the last 60 years. They're doing over $100 million in sales within 12 months. And again, that's not to impress anybody. That's just to show you it's only 100% because this product sells. And I have people that are non-salespeople, salespeople, selling the heck out of this.
Well, you don't have to sell it.
You don't have to.
It kind of sells itself because you're using it and people ask you what's different. And that starts the conversation. You look at the video and you're like, all right, let's give it a try. But, you know, on something like this, you really need to be on it for a little bit of a time so that you can see that because, you know, again, being skeptical, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to see it.
I've had people try it for a month and they said, it didn't do anything for me. I said, you didn't sleep better? Oh, yeah, I slept a little better. It's like,
okay.
I don't know. Sometimes it's finances with people. You know, people are strange sometimes. So I tell people now, I mean, if you're not going to commit to a 90-day period of time to see if it's going to work, yes or no, then don't do it.
And it's not committing to you. It's committing to themselves to try something that will potentially benefit them. It's a habit changer and it's a commitment to yourself. All my mentoring kids know that. I'm always saying you got to make a commitment to yourself. You know, it doesn't matter what you say to me. It doesn't matter. My day stays the same with or without your commitment to yourself. You have to do the work. You have to make these choices. Maybe this is one of those lifestyle habit changes that you can make.
Period.
You are listening to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lorianne Casdia. We're talking to Ken San Pedro from New You Life, and we're talking about a transdermal, FDA-registered HGH, human growth hormone gel, which is just really just blazing through. I really I enjoy the side effects that you get from it. They're all very positive, and I love that you can work it in tandem because it's homeopathic.
Yep.
And let's talk a little bit more about Alexi, because he is magnificent. I had the fortune of meeting him. You were there when I met him. The most real human who just wants to, this is not about money for him. This is about helping people have a better life. And I mean that with all sincerity. That's all he wants.
That's it.
That's all he wants.
He's a very successful guy. He's manufactured over 650 products in the last 30 years that he's been doing this. They call him a savant in what he does, you know. And he really didn't know what he had. And just to let you know, it's been around for 15 years, and you asked, there's no interaction. No, there's no interaction, no known interactions with any medications. There hasn't been any side effects. Sometimes, from what I know, some women get a little headache in the very beginning, and they just have to cut back a little bit until your body gets accustomed to it, and then, you know, you can go right back to regular doses. And the nice thing about it is that it's 2 pumps in the morning, 2 pumps at night. It's not like you have to go through a whole 35-minute workout. It's a 2-minute.
Add it to your regimen.
Just that's it. Well, I put it on. I brush my teeth. I rub it in. I'm brushing my teeth. It's drying up. It's soaking into
Hopefully you don't
skin,
confuse the products while you're doing it. That would be bad. Right, Craig? I don't.
You could probably put it on your gums.
Don't start. It's transdermal.
Absolutely.
So talk to us about, you know, your experience with Alexi, because I know that was really significant for you.
Yeah, when we first started, I've been in other network marketing companies before, and I always got involved, not to make a ton of money. I was always interested in a higher quality of product. And it was almost the same thing here until I started making money, and I went, okay, now this is something that I have to really take seriously and add into my workday. I just blanked.
You were talking about Alexi.
Oh, Alexi. When
you were thinking about money and you got a happy face on, and then you went away.
The very first phone call, I said, when I heard Lexi, I said, either this guy is the greatest salesman in the world or this guy is 100% genuine. I said, either he's a phenomenal salesman or he's 100% genuine. He is 100% genuine.
No, he really is.
It's not about the money.
And
this
his team
made a lot of money already. He's a millionaire. You know, he has 2 very successful vitamin stores out there. A lot of his clientele are the elite, the sportsmen, the actors, the high level athletes. You know, that's who his clientele has been his whole career. Right. In fact, he started this product. He invented this product because a good friend of his was doing HGH injections, and he goes, dude, what are you doing? You know? And this is 15 years ago. So he invented this product so his buddy didn't have to do injections anymore. And that's how this whole thing started. So he's just a selfless man that just cares about every single person that he speaks to.
Very humble. And the team he has placed around him, and his team keeps growing a little bit every day. Also, very humble. Just really care about.
They take his lead. They really do.
Well, yeah, and he sets a good tone, and it makes you proud to be part of that team. It really does, and it really is about bringing good health to people and just helping them have a better life. So between Craig helping you with your mindset and you helping them with the gel and how their body is reacting, we have a really good equation here.
Craig's a great guy. I mean, everything he was talking about is spot on. It really is spot on. There was things that I was noticing as I'm sitting here, and he's tremendous.
Yeah.
And I wish, I hope people take him up on it and take advantage of his services and his knowledge, because I would probably still be married.
Well, you had said
to my wife if we had something like this in place, because people are so different, you know. Right. And if you understand who they are, then you know what they're looking for, and so it's tremendous.
You know, we have to learn everything that we do, right? So why are relationships any different?
They are.
And that's the thing that always kind of, and I mean this not in a patronizing way, but it's amusing because I've done it myself. It's like, oh, right, I have to learn how to interact with other people because everybody's different. Even to the point where I sat there and went, my boys are totally different. They're totally different human beings. You can't deal with them the same. Having these kind of tools that you provide, Craig, allows us to relate better with our children.
Just taking those couple of minutes to realize who you're speaking with, who's on the other side, you'll know how to deal with them better. I mean, it's so simple too. That's the thing. It really is.
It is not.
It's just
rocket
making sure you do it.
Well, and it's like anything else. You have to do it. You have to create new habits. You have to interact. You have to take a moment and a breath. Sometimes I think we're focused on the wrong things. And if we just change that camera lens, as you hear often on the show, to maybe a different direction, you find that it's not difficult.
Definitely not.
It's not difficult. I really appreciate you coming on, talking about this product. I hope you'll come back.
Appreciate you having me.
I think we should have this Craig and Ken team back another time because it works really well together. And I'd love to hear updates and some more stories about your successes. I know you have a gazillion people working with you right now, and that's good to hear.
Mind-blowing.
It really is.
It's life-changing, period.
It is for all of us. So thank you so much for being on, Ken. I really appreciate it. I want to say thank you all for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle. My heart is always lifted by sharing this time with you. And I want to thank my guests, my beautiful friends, Ken and Craig Colasanti, our radical change coach, and Ken, who is from New You Life. And we'd love to talk more about Alexia in the future. And of course, our superhero, Brian, our producer. Join us next Saturday right here on LI News Radio 103.9 at 3 p.m. every Saturday. In the meantime, follow us and send us comments on social media at Healthy Lifestyle with LA. Remember, do a little something for yourself every day. It starts there. Craig was talking about it. Ken was talking about it. I'm always talking about it. It doesn't have to be big, but you definitely have to take a moment and do something for yourself. We're here to serve everybody else, but that doesn't mean we don't create a new habit for ourselves, create a new balance. Thank you for joining us on Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lorianne Casdia. Until next time, show up for you and show up big.